Hi, this is Forrest, and we're here in the Ciro garage today to put on the Ciro TAC-10 lights on this new Road Glide. Now, in order to put it on the newer bikes, you need the extra harness that you want to buy separately. That makes it an easy plug-and-play installation, and let's get rolling on it. First thing we want to do is remove the fairing. Now, we have a video for this already. See the link below if you don't know how to take the fairing off of your bike. Now that we've got the fairing off, the next thing we're going to want to do is remove the headlight. So to remove the headlight, there's 6 screws. There's 2 down underneath here. And there's 4 on the top side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the other ones are back in here, kind of a little ways. You got to look into the little hole there. They're all the same size screws, so you don't have to worry about mixing them up or anything like that. All right, and once you're free of the last screw there, you don't want to have the headlight fall out. You just pull it out, and there's a plug right on the back side of it. There it is. All right. Okay, now here's the harness we need to power the TAC-10s. So you need to unplug this plug here, and there it is. Now, kind of pull that plug back, and then this is the TAC-10 harness that's going to go in here and get plugged in here. And here. All right. Now this you can kind of tuck up into here. We want to just bring this out for the TAC-10 to power. Okay. All right. This can be pushed up into this hole. Well, hopefully it can be pushed up into that hole. All right, there we go. Okay, now this is the headlight plug, and if you want the TAC-10s to come on with the high beam, you plug in this little adapter. And then the TAC-10s will plug into that, and this plugs into the back of your headlight. So what we have here is all that comes into the box with the TAC-10s, and this relay harness is going to be installed into the motorcycle. The yellow wires, yellow and black, plugs into the harness that we just put into the motorcycle that's specific to the newer bikes. That plugs into that 12-pin harness and provides power for the TAC-10s. This relay turns the lights on and off depending on where you hook up these 2 wires. There's a red and a yellow in this harness. If you plug them together, it comes on when you turn the bike on. The yellow wire, when it has power, is what turns on this relay and turns on the TAC-10s. So if they're plugged together, you get power all the time and they turn on right away. If you want it to be on with the high beams, you put in this high beam switch that we put in, and it just gets plugged into here, and then that turns on the TAC-10s. If you want it, like I said, on all the time, you plug them together. And if you want it with the low beams, there's a plug underneath the motorcycle that we provide a second harness that runs up from the bottom. We'll show you that later in the video. Since these are going to be mounted this way, we actually want to move the Ciro to the top so it looks correct. So the first thing we want to do, I guess, before we put this together is to change the lens around. Okay, so I'm removing these 4 screws from that hold the front bezel onto the light. We remove these screws, and then we can spin that bezel around so that the little logo is upright, because it'll look funny if that's at the bottom upside down. Looks like we didn't do a very good job of putting it in. The lens just comes off, and then we'll flip it around, put it on this way, and put the screws back in. Now the Ciro logo is up. When you put the bracket on the top, which is what we're going to do. What we want to do also, before we do that, we want to attach or put this bolt, it has that square head that goes up through that bracket there. Otherwise, when we get it back in there, you can't get that bolt in very easy. It's a lot easier to do it now. We'll put these together, start everything on this side, and sneak a washer in here. And we'll leave these a little loose because we don't know where exactly we're going to have it adjusted on the bike yet. Okay, now this one's all ready to be like mounted on the motorcycle or mounted to this bracket actually. Let's move onward and we'll do the other one. We're going to put this bracket on here. Basically it's rubber mounted and allows you to, it has a little bit of give to it. You'll be able to close the brackets all the way if I wasn't such a clumsy person. And you'll be able to just tighten these up. I like to close the bracket or close the clamp on the top a little bit extra. Want to tighten them up fairly evenly. But that's all there is to it. Close up the gaps eventually. And then you can hang the spotlight here. Okay, now I want this to be fairly level with the ground before you make it finally tight. Okay. Aim it fairly straightforward there. And we can tighten up here after we get it all set where we want it. Now we run the wires up into the fairing. Okay, we're going to pull it out from this area of the fairing and then leave it lay there for right now, and we'll do the other side. Okay, now we've got the 2 wires run up from the spotlights. Here's the headlight harness that we have our extra little lead on, because that's where we want it. This bike is set up for the high beam to be the activator for the spotlights or for the TAC-10s. So we just plug this in right here. That's now, this plugs into the back of the headlight. This will tape off and and this will activate the spotlights. This is where we plugged into the main harness. This is the extra lead there. This is the power setup. From that, it just plugs in. That's our relay harness. This is extra in case you need another power port for anything. All right, now these, each one of them gets plugged into the leads from the spotlights, or from the TAC-10s. They go, we have white to white, red to red, and black to black. And you do that on both sides. All right, now if you wanted to have this turn on by low beam, what you would do is, instead of plugging into this headlight harness and this extra wire here, you would plug this plug into the bottom of the bike and then run this wire up into the fairing, and you'd plug this black wire to this red wire coming out of this harness here. If you look at the instructions, it'll show you where it plugs in underneath the motorcycle, because it's kind of hard to see up there, but it's right underneath in the middle. And then, like I said, if you want them on all the time, you just plug this yellow and this red together, and they're on when you turn the bike on. And that's all there is to it. It's all a matter of shoving all this stuff in here. It's pretty tight. And then putting the headlight back in, and the TAC-10s are ready to go. Okay, then after we plug into the headlight here, we're gonna kind of tuck these wires back into place, and kind of, there we go, clear that one. Okay, before we put the fairing back on, we wanted to make sure that everything works correctly. Everything comes on when we turn the bike on. When we turn the high beams on, the TAC-10s come on. So that's the way it's supposed to work. Now we'll button everything up completely, and we'll go from there. That's all there is to the TAC-10 installation. We have these rigged so you can turn it on with, they come on with the high beam. You can have them come on with the low beam and have that activated by the dash on the bike, or you can have them come on when you turn the bike on. If you have any other questions, see us at Ciro3D.com, give us a call, or see your local Ciro dealer. And this is Forrest here in the Ciro shop. We'll see you down the road.